Jason Harris is a self-proclaimed taxi driver extraordinaire. His passions include being an international food and wine critic, as you know, along with being the occasional beautiful people critic. With his speech, The Taxi Driver's Rules for Success, welcome Mr. Jason O.
Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, good morning and happy Wednesday. So I got to thinking about what it meant to be a jet pilot. Well, actually, it's more appropriate, I'm nothing more than your average taxi driver. So with that, I figured I'd go out to do a little searching on what it meant to be a taxi driver. Well, I realized I couldn't use the handy-dandy GPS that's installed in my amazing Boeing 767. So I figured I'd go and get to grab a look at my locally procured GTS. You guys don't know what that means? Google that stuff. Okay. So, and of course we all know if it's on Google, it has to be true. So go sit down at the computer, start typing in taxi driver. Pull up the definition of what a taxi driver is in the description, and it says stuff like delivers people to and from their destinations, ascertains where they're going, gets them to their place of desire, loads their bags, things of that magnitude. And it also talks about waiting for them to take them back to their next destination. I thought, wow, that reads exactly like my job description as a jet pilot / taxi driver. Then I kept reading on about all the additional duties of a taxi driver, and there were things like know the city, know the roads, traffic signals, and avoiding traffic. And I thought, how well is that working out for those taxi drivers in New York City? And then there were other things that they had to do as a taxi driver, such as change the fluids, change the oil. Well, I'll let you guys in on a little secret. I've never changed the fluids and I've never changed the oil in my taxi. As you can see, I'm obviously slightly height challenged, kind of like Barry. So therefore, I've never changed the fluids in my taxi. Well, why does that matter to you, and how can I help you as a taxi driver to be successful? Well, the first thing we talk about is the GPS. You see, in my airplane, Boeing 767, when I travel, I need that tool, a GPS. That helps me to figure out how to get from point A to point B. Point B is in Barcelona. Wonderful place for being a food critic and a wine critic, not to mention the beautiful people. But for you, what does that mean? Well, let's take GPS. 3 things I want you to think about. Your goals, the people, and the success. So when you guys are trying to figure out how to be successful, I want you to consider what your goals are. Have you actually set some goals? Who are the people that are going to help you get to those goals? And then have you ever taken the time to define success? Not success to those around you, but your version of success. See, many of you have never truly sat down and defined what your version of success looks like. The next thing I thought about as a taxi driver and how I can help you to be successful is your flight plan. You see, when I look at going on a trip to go and be a food and wine critic, I can't just go and hop in that amazing Boeing 767, saddle her up, fire up the engines, and blast away. No, before I do that, I need to have a flight plan. And when I put that flight plan together, it gives me an origin, it gives me a destination, and it tells me all the intricate points in between on how to get there. So that when I get to Barcelona, and I have a chance to appricate in the sun, I've had a plan to get there. And once I build that flight plan, I've got to file that flight plan with someone. So how many of you have put together a flight plan and are using your GPS, the goals, the people, and that success to help you navigate to where you're going in life? The last thing that I thought I'd share with you all as far as success is the word success. Many of you have been told that you can't do it. Some of you have gone through some challenging times. Some of you are trying to figure out how do you get to where you want to be at. And you haven't taken the time to actually step back from those things and define success. See, a lot of us, we're looking at success and think, well, John Register, he must be amazingly successful because he works for the Olympic Training Committee. He speaks all around the world, and I want to be just like John. And some of you are thinking, I want to be just like Michelle. She's got an amazing coaching business. She's an awesome speaker. And so that's how you're defining your success. Some of you are defining your success by your significant, maybe your insignificant other, and what they've told you should be. But allow me to share with you today that your success needs to be owned by you. I want you to think about, how do you define success? Once you define success, your version of success, you get to own it. No one else. Not mom, dad, sister, brother, significant, perhaps insignificant other. But you get to own that success, and you get to determine what it looks like. If you say you want to be a school teacher, be the best freaking school teacher you can be. If you want to be a taxi driver, be the best taxi driver you can be. No matter what it is you define as successful, you own it. So now I've given you some rules and some tools on your road to success. Just some simple tools from a taxi driver to help you succeed. So as you go throughout this week, I want you all to think about your GPS, those goals, the people helping you to get to your goals, and your success. I want you to think about that flight plan. Put it together. What is the origin? What is the destination? And how am I going to get there? And with that flight plan, I want you to think about who you're going to file that with. Remember that P in GPS? The people? You need to have that file with the right people. When you start figuring out what success looks like and where you want to be, you need to surround yourself with the right people to help you get there. They're going to help you to navigate to success. And lastly, I want you to think about and clearly define success. What does it mean to you? What does it look like? And how do you own it? And with that, as you all enjoy this beautiful day and appreciate in the sun, I wish you fair winds, blue skies, and all the best.